If you are over 60, this may surprise you, and it might just help you make one of the most powerful, easy health upgrades you'll ever try. You see, a common cheese sitting quietly in many of our refrigerators may be doing more harm than good, contributing to foggy thinking, raising our blood pressure, and quietly wearing down our heart health. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, the wrong kinds of cheese can increase our risk of cardiovascular problems by up to 40%. That's no small number. But let's not jump to fear. There's good news too, because while some cheeses quietly work against our aging bodies, others are quietly healing them, boosting our memory, easing inflammation, supporting our bones. Today, let's walk through 4 cheeses that deserve a place on our table, and 4 that we may want to gently say goodbye to. Segment 1. 4. Cheeses you should eat. After 60, 1. Goat cheese, nature's brain booster. In many Mediterranean towns, you'll find elders who live well into their 90s, strong, sharp-minded, still walking to the market each morning. And if you step into their kitchens, chances are you'll find a small wedge of goat cheese wrapped gently in parchment, sitting beside fresh vegetables. Goat cheese may not be flashy, but it's a quiet healer, especially for those of us entering our golden years. Let's begin with how gently it treats our digestive system. As we age, many of us notice changes in how we digest food. Foods that once felt easy now leave us feeling bloated, uncomfortable, or sluggish. Goat cheese contains shorter-chain fatty acids and a protein structure that's naturally easier for our bodies to break down, meaning less strain, less gas, and more comfort. But digestion is only the beginning. Goat cheese is rich in omega-3 fatty acids and a special form of vitamin A, both powerful nutrients that support brain function and memory. For folks like George, a retired teacher from Pennsylvania who recently shared his story, this made a big difference. George had always loved cheese but started noticing foggy mornings in his early 60s. His nutritionist suggested a small switch swap out processed cheese slices for a soft goat cheese spread on his toast. I didn't expect much. George laughed, but within a few weeks I noticed the difference. I was remembering my neighbor's name without that awkward pause again. In addition to brain support, goat cheese also carries a comforting bonus. It's loaded with natural probiotics, the friendly bacteria that keep our gut microbiome strong and balanced. And because our gut and brain are closely linked, this can have benefits not just for digestion, but even mood and immunity. Add to that its high levels of zinc, selenium, and calcium, all important for healing thyroid support and maintaining strong bones, and it's easy to see why goat cheese earns its place as a quiet hero in our diets. So, whether you crumble it into a salad, spread it over warm toast, or pair it with ripe tomatoes and a drizzle of olive oil, this gentle, nutrient-packed cheese is worth keeping close, too. Swiss cheese, the silent heart helper. Many people remember Swiss cheese from childhood. Those funny holes, the mild taste may be sandwiched between 2 slices of bread on a packed school lunch. But as we get older, Swiss cheese offers much more than nostalgia. Swiss cheese is what I call a gentle strengthener. It works in subtle but important ways to support the parts of our body that need it most: the heart, the bones, and the brain. First, it's surprisingly low in sodium, about 75% less than many hard cheeses. That's a gift for anyone watching their blood pressure, which, let's be honest, includes most of us after 60. And unlike processed cheeses, which often sneak in preservatives and additives, Swiss cheese gets its strength from time. It's naturally aged, not chemically forced. This aging process makes Swiss one of the most lactose-free cheeses available, which is great news for those of us whose stomachs don't quite handle milk like they used to. Now, here's the heart of it. Swiss cheese is packed with vitamin K2, a lesser-known vitamin that helps guide calcium to the right places. That means it sends calcium to our bones, where it strengthens us, and away from our arteries where it could do harm. That's a critical job for anyone managing bone density or heart health. There's also the benefit of high-quality protein and vitamin B12, both vital for maintaining muscle mass and supporting memory. A single ounce of Swiss cheese gives us about 16% of the B12 we need for the day, and for many older adults that's a real boost, since B12 absorption tends to decline with age, and let's not forget the beneficial bacteria. During the fermentation of Swiss cheese, specific cultures are used such as Propionibacterium freudenreichii, which produce compounds linked to stronger immune response in older adults. Think of it as nature's little booster shot built into your sandwich. Swiss cheese is calm, unassuming, and deeply nourishing. It's a small comfort that works quietly behind the scenes just like many of us in this season of life. 3. Feta, the gut-friendly crumble. Now let's take a journey to the sunlit hills of Greece where the air smells of olives and oregano, and where feta cheese has been a staple for thousands of years. Feta is more than a tangy topping for a salad. It's a time-tested, digestion-friendly choice for older adults, and it does wonders for our gut and bones. First, it's often made from sheep's milk or a blend of sheep and goat milk, both of which are easier to digest than cow's milk. If you've ever felt bloated or gassy after cheese but found feta gentler, this might be why. It's also naturally lower in lactose and rich in probiotics, those helpful live bacteria that support a balanced gut. And as we get older, maintaining a healthy gut becomes more important than ever. Medication, stress, and even the natural aging process can reduce the diversity of our microbiome. A crumble of real feta now, and then helps bring it back into balance. Let me tell you about Linda, a retired librarian from Michigan. Linda struggled with frequent digestive issues and bloating, especially after big family meals. She started making small swaps, including replacing cheddar in her salads with feta. Within weeks, she told me she noticed less discomfort. "I didn't feel so heavy after eating," she said, "and I started enjoying my food again." But feta's not just good for the gut. It's high in calcium, protein, and vitamin B12, all essential for strong bones, nerve function, and muscle maintenance. Its slightly salty and sour taste also helps with natural portion control. You don't need much to feel satisfied. Just a few crumbles on top of vegetables or stirred into a warm grain bowl can elevate a meal. And here's a small tip for those watching sodium-soaking feta in cold water. For 10 to 15 minutes before eating, can reduce the salt content by up to 30%. It keeps the flavor but makes it friendlier for the heart. In short, feta is a smart, satisfying choice, balancing flavor with function and delight with digestion. 4. Fresh mozzarella, the gentle all-rounder. If goat cheese is the brain booster and Swiss is the quiet protector of the heart, then fresh mozzarella is the gentle companion that brings it all together, supportive, versatile, and kind to nearly every part of the body. Now, let's be clear. We're not talking about the shredded mozzarella that comes in plastic bags and melts like rubber. No, we mean real fresh mozzarella. The kind you find in soft white balls stored in water, sometimes labeled as buffalo mozzarella, if made from water, buffalo milk. This type of mozzarella is low in sodium and lower in saturated fat compared to most hard cheeses. That makes it a wonderful choice for those of us looking to ease pressure on our heart and circulatory system, especially if we've ever dealt with high blood pressure or arthritis flare-ups. What makes fresh mozzarella unique is its nutrient composition. It has a high calcium-to-sodium ratio, meaning it strengthens bones without pushing up your blood pressure. It also contains bioactive peptides, small protein fragments released during fermentation that have been shown to support vascular health and reduce inflammation. That's a fancy way of saying mozzarella can quietly help your arteries stay flexible and your joints feel a little less stiff. It also carries conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, a natural fatty acid that supports fat metabolism. Many of us in our 60s and beyond find it harder to maintain a healthy weight, even when our diets haven't changed much. Including mozzarella in meals can help nudge the body toward healthier fat processing without sacrificing taste. There's also a hidden gift, buffalo mozzarella. In particular, contains higher levels of vitamin A, selenium, and zinc nutrients that support our immune system and eye health, which become increasingly important with age. And, of course, fresh mozzarella is incredibly easy to incorporate into daily meals. Whether you lay it over sliced tomatoes with basil and a touch of olive oil, add it to roasted vegetables, or simply enjoy it with whole grain toast. This cheese is as gentle as it is joyful. We've walked through the cheeses that can support our health, memory, and digestion, but not all cheese is created equal. In fact, a few popular options, ones many of us have eaten for years, may be quietly working against us. Let's explore 4 types of cheese that, especially after 60, we might want to think twice about keeping in our kitchen. Segment 2-4 Cheeses to avoid after 60. 1. Processed cheese spreads. The stroke in disguise. It's creamy, it's easy to spread, it often comes in bright, cheerful packaging tubs, triangles, or foil-wrapped wedges. But what's inside these processed cheese spreads tells a different story. These spreads may be marketed as convenient or kid-friendly, but they combine the worst qualities of all unhealthy cheeses, and for seniors they can pose serious risks over time. Let's begin with their ingredients. Unlike real cheese, these spreads are often made by melting cheese scraps and stabilizing them with a cocktail of emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial colors, and most concerning phosphates. These added phosphates have been linked to impaired kidney function, especially in older adults whose kidneys naturally become less efficient with age. We met a gentleman named Carl, 67, who had been adding cheese spread to toast every morning. After a routine checkup revealed rising kidney markers, his doctor advised cutting out processed foods. Within months of switching to real cheese and lowering phosphate intake, Carl's labs improved and he felt less fatigued. The sodium content in processed cheese spreads is another major red flag. Just one small wedge can contain more than 300 milliliters of sodium, and some people eat 2 or 3 without thinking twice. For those managing blood pressure or heart disease, this is a hidden danger. Worse still, some processed spreads still contain trans fats or partially hydrogenated oils, fats that have been banned in many countries because of their strong links to heart disease and cognitive decline. These fats raise bad cholesterol and lower the good, setting the stage for inflammation, arterial blockages, and mental fog. And yet, because processed spreads are soft and easy to chew, many older adults assume they're gentle. But inside that silky texture is a recipe for long-term strain on the kidneys, heart, and brain. If you have a container of cheese spread in your fridge, take a moment to check the label. Look for phosphate additives, high sodium, and long ingredient lists. Then consider swapping it out for something simpler, cleaner, and better aligned with your health goals. 2. Cream cheese, the silent fat bomb. Cream cheese might feel harmless. It's soft, it's smooth, it pairs nicely with a bagel in the morning, but beneath that comforting texture lies a product that offers very little nutrition and quite a bit of potential trouble for seniors. Unlike other cheeses that come with protein, calcium, and probiotics, cream cheese is mostly made of fat. Specifically, it's rich in saturated fat, the kind that can slowly raise cholesterol levels and make weight management more difficult as we age. One of the challenges we face in our later years is muscle loss, which slows metabolism. That means our bodies need fewer calories but more nutrients. Cream cheese gives us the opposite: lots of calories, almost no protein, and minimal vitamins or minerals. A woman named Joyce, age 72, once told me how she loved starting her day with a generous spread of cream cheese on toast. But after she began experiencing more joint stiffness and weight gain, her dietitian suggested replacing cream cheese with avocado or goat cheese. Within weeks, Joyce said she felt less puffy and even noticed her rings fit better. There's another concern. Soft cheeses like cream cheese are more susceptible to contamination, especially with listeria, a bacterium that can be particularly dangerous for people with weakened immune systems. Unlike younger folks who may experience mild stomach upset, seniors can face serious complications if exposed to listeria, including infections that affect the brain or bloodstream. To make matters worse, many flavored cream cheeses like honey walnut or berry versions sneak in added sugars. These sugars spike insulin levels, encourage fat storage, and increase inflammation, a triple whammy for those already managing arthritis, diabetes, or cardiovascular concerns. So, while cream cheese might feel gentle going down, its effects can add up quietly over weeks, months, and years. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. A simple swap to a more nutrient-rich cheese could offer more flavor, more support, and less hidden harm. 3. Blue cheese, the mold that strikes back. Blue cheese often carries an air of sophistication. It's the kind of cheese we may have served at special dinners or sampled at gourmet stores. But for seniors, this marbled moldy cheese hides some potential risks that are worth gently unpacking. Let's start with what gives blue cheese its signature flavor and appearance: the mold. This mold, Penicillium roqueforti, creates veins of blue or green and a sharp, pungent taste. While it's safe for many, it can be problematic for people whose systems are more sensitive, especially those over 60. You see, blue cheese contains compounds called tyramine and histamine. These are naturally produced during aging, and in younger people they're usually broken down quickly. But as we age, our enzyme activity can slow down, making it harder for our bodies to clear these substances. The result: sudden headaches, flushed skin, or even spikes in blood pressure. Take the case of Marcia, a 69-year-old from Oregon. She loved blue cheese on her salads, but noticed after eating it, she'd sometimes get a strange pounding in her head or feel jittery. Her doctor helped her trace it back to tyramine. Once she limited blue cheese and aged meats, the symptoms faded. But tyramine is only one concern. The soft, moist nature of blue cheese makes it more vulnerable to listeria, a dangerous bacteria that can grow in refrigerated moldy foods. While it rarely affects healthy adults, older adults, especially those with lowered immunity, face a higher risk of serious infection. There's also the matter of salt. Just 1 ounce of blue cheese can contain over 400 milligrams of sodium. For seniors managing blood pressure, kidney issues, or simply trying to reduce water retention, this can be a heavy load. Now, that's not to say that blue cheese is toxic to everyone, but it is a cheese that requires extra awareness, especially if you've experienced digestive discomfort, high blood pressure spikes, or have been warned about sodium or histamine intake. Sometimes the fanciest foods aren't the friendliest, and that's okay. There are plenty of delicious alternatives that don't come with the same hidden challenges. 4. American cheese, the ultra-processed imposter. It melts beautifully. It's a bright sunny orange, and it's wrapped in neat little slices ready to throw on a burger or grilled cheese sandwich. But let's be honest, American cheese isn't really cheese in the traditional sense. It's a processed product, a blend of dairy, leftovers, emulsifiers, salts, and colorings engineered for taste and texture, not health. And for older adults, this convenience comes at a cost. To start, American cheese is often packed with sodium. A single slice can contain 300 to 400 milliliters, nearly 15% of our recommended daily intake. And most of us don't stop at one slice. For seniors managing high blood pressure or heart issues, this can quietly undermine progress made through medication and diet. There's also the issue of phosphate additives, those hidden chemicals used to preserve texture and shelf life. These have been linked to reduced calcium absorption and increased risk of arterial calcification, especially in older populations. What that means is the calcium doesn't always reach our bones. It can deposit in our arteries where it doesn't belong. And let's talk about gut health, something most of us think about more as we age. American cheese, due to its artificial ingredients and emulsifiers, can disrupt the balance of bacteria in our intestines. A healthy gut supports immunity, mood, and even cognitive function. When it's off balance, we may feel more bloated, more tired, or more off than usual. I once spoke to Harold, 74, who had eaten American cheese most of his life. It was easy, cheap, and nostalgic. But after a mild heart episode, his doctor encouraged him to read more labels. Harold was shocked to discover just how processed his cheese was. He made a simple switch to real Swiss and noticed improvements not just in his digestion, but also in how clear his mornings felt. So, while American cheese might be convenient, it's worth asking, is it truly nourishing? Or is it simply a habit from a different era that no longer serves our best health? Sometimes the bravest, kindest thing we can do for ourselves is let go of something familiar and choose something better. You don't need to give up cheese to stay healthy. In fact, the right cheeses can be one of the most enjoyable and comforting parts of your diet, bringing not only pleasure, but real healing power. Goat cheese for the brain, Swiss for the heart, feta for the gut, and fresh mozzarella for a gentle, balanced lift. These are small allies we can welcome into our daily lives. And when we say goodbye to heavily processed spreads, salt bombs, or mold-heavy cheeses, we make room for something even better: clarity, energy, and peace of mind. So next time you open your fridge, take a fresh look at your cheese drawer. Is it helping you thrive or holding you back? We'd love to hear what cheeses you enjoy. Have you made any changes recently? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Seniors Health Talk, where simple choices create powerful change, one gentle step at a time.